Welcome to Business Connect's exclusive interview session. This is your host Kajal Dubhal, and I'm extremely delighted to introduce Mr. Vinkesh Gulati on our channel today. Mr. Gulati has joined us to share insights, experiences, and wisdom that promise to inspire and enlighten us all. Get ready for an engaging conversation filled with valuable insights and stories from someone who is truly exceptional in his field. So, without any further ado, let's dive in. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Gulati.
Thanks. Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much. So, at first, Mr. Gulati, let's talk about your career trajectory because our viewers are very much interested to know about it. So, please go ahead.
Hi everybody. Thanks Business Connect to have me in this session. Basically, I'm born and brought up in Allahabad, and we are into automobile dealerships and education. And as luck should have it, it brought me to the Delhi, and I was active in our Automobile Dealer Association since 2006. And it took me a time to reach the apex of this body, which handles all the dealers in India from two-wheeler to trucks. So I became the president in 2000 to 2022. Obviously, this was the COVID time, and I entered, took the post without any formal induction where we could, because COVID times, no events can happen. But I feel those were the most important times for the total auto community, and helped me also to grow well. And parallelly, I became the treasurer for Automotive Skill Development Council, and post 2 years today, I'm the vice president. So this is the association this journey going on along with my business thing.
That's truly remarkable, Mr. Gulati. And talking about ASDC, so could you just talk about the overall portfolio of ASDC, and also could you just share the USPs and the ASDC model?
See, all these skill councils came into being with our PM, Mr. Narendra Modi, wanting to improve the skill of India, of Indian people. So the Ministry of Skill was formed, and there were some 30 plus skill council formed depending upon industries to industry. And for automotive, this Automotive Skill Development Council was formed. And as the government's main role is there, so this is a partnership between government, Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturer, which is the manufacturing body, vehicles manufacturing body, then Auto Component Manufacturers Association, which is the ancillaries to the vehicle manufacturers, and then FADA, which is Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, which is the dealers part. So it covers from spares making, going to the vehicle, and then vehicle being sold to the end customer. So it covers end to end. So this body came up with this four ingredient to improve the skilling of India. And if you talk about, there are some 5 million people who are employed in the dealership, and there are another 2-3 million which are employed in ACMA and CM. So overall, what is happening, that the advancement in the engineering or the technology or the energy is so fast paced that a regular update of the skilling was needed. So there was a time when we used to think of how to upskill, but slowly and steadily what we have seen with the fast pacing technology, that it is not only upskilling, we have to actually unskill first and then reskill to at least be prevalent in the market. So that is why this ASDC has to work diligently regular. Even in COVID times, we were updating our QPs sitting at home, because BS3, BS4 and BS4, BS6 practically happened during the COVID times. So the March 20, we saw this change, which was entering COVID. And with a new technology being launched in the system, and if our skilling at the old technology, so obviously the support system to the customers to those vehicles won't happen. So ASDC has been proactively working on developing advanced skill qualifications aligned with the level skill of the national skill qualification framework. There are we have proposed some 23 qualification in total out of total 14 job roles, which are of level 6 and 7 and 8, which level 6 and 7 and 8, like these are the best, the topmost levels where you can talk of M.Tech, B.Tech, those kind of, it's
Okay.
not just normal skilling, it's a high
Mm.
scale comparable degree programs.
Okay.
So this all is needed because uh, there are some manpower in the organized framework, which
Mm-hmm.
obviously are in a process of getting trained, skilled through the dealers, companies, and all
Mm-hmm.
this. And there are some manpower which is not in an organized skill way. We know as roadside mechanics, or there are
Mm-hmm.
home support team, or even the driver training. So like shifting from manual gears to automatic, the drivers have to upgrade their skill. So
True.
ASDC is working on all those advancement and updating their QPs, or QPs means the course
Yeah.
curriculum, so that they can upgrade themselves and be prevalent to the employment or employer for them.
Okay. Very well explained, Mr. Gulati. And one question that arises in my mind is like, you are also the chairman of FAD Academy and Research, right? So, what key initiatives, or we can say like strategies, have you implemented to, elevate the establishment's current stature? Could you just walk us through that as well?
See, Federation of Automobile Dealer Association is a body which handles some 26,500 dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, we came with a problem statement that the manufacturers or the auto OEMs
Mm-hmm.
normally handhold us or give training to where the benefit goes to them and not to a dealer person. So the customer to delivery process, if there is some training needed, they give it. So that is why
Mm-hmm.
we came up with an academy where we can upgrade the dealer or handle. I'll not say train because they're all well qualified people. That is why they are dealers, they are entrepreneurs. But
Mm-hmm.
handle them to be more efficient, more earn more out of their business with better knowledge. So this academy came through in that process where whatever OEM leaves, we have to cover it up. And once this academy was set, the first big problem was wherever the dealers were talking about the next gen are not interested in auto business. They seeing the glamour of startups and
Mm-hmm.
high value jobs outside of India. After studying from the top in universities in world over,
Mm-hmm.
going through that lifespan, they don't want to come to the dealership. So that was the first task I took after joining, after becoming the chairman of this, founder chairman of this academy. And we launched a mini leadership program, or you can say a mini MBA program of 5 months, where we took the newbies. So it was actually even people who were doing graduation or just come out of graduation and going through a 1 year phase of to join again for MBA. So we
Mm-hmm.
got hold of some 25 kids in that program and made them go through the full process of a mini MBA of an auto dealership, in which there were a lot of internship programs. So they had to be at the dealership for around 10 days and understand what is it. And to make them learn that you had gone through such high education because your father was a dealer. They have earned out of that dealership, and that was the input for your such high education, and it's a real return positive business. And the hype what you see uh, going on in abroad about startups. So there are 100 startups out of which only 2 or 3 survive, whereas
Mm-hmm.
you have a backbone which is surviving and you can take that to another level and increase your valuation of wealth. Great. So that program at least helped a lot, and we got a lot of. I got some 7, 8 dealers calling back that the now my son is interested in, or my son or daughters. There were many females also. My son
Mm-hmm.
or daughter is interested in joining the business, and I'm thankful for you. At least the positivity in their mindset has come towards the business, and now let's see after masters what they do. So
Yeah.
we identify in academy what are such problems where there is an issue, and the OEM training or even the theoretical training what is being given by the educational institutions are not met. And then we came up. So like we just completed a course of management by dashboard. So there are a lot of dashboards which OEMs give to dealers, but those are all based on the customer satisfaction or OEM's process adaptation. It doesn't work on what a dealer should see on the financial side, or how to control frauds, or how to run his dealership uh, to the best delegated system. So in that process, we made them a 5 weeks program to learn them how to make a dashboard where what you want you can see, not what others are making and showing them. And latest, we have just on the verge of completing. January is last, where we have given a course which is co-planned by Narsi Monji. So it's a Academy and Narsi Monji joint course where some 23 students, the next gen, is going through a course which is hybrid, 2 days in Bombay and rest virtual, where again we are trying to make them learn how to outshine themselves, make their own brand as a dealer. OEM is not a brand. OEM obviously is a brand, but the dealership should also be a brand because they are the local face of the OEM. So all these things are happening there. It's too in the nascent stage. It's just a first year. We have just done 3 courses. We are planning to do 4 anchor courses and at least 50 online small courses starting from 2 hours to 2 days, where all the issues of the dealers which they are going through should be solved, and we can help them do that.
Okay, that's very well explained. So, Mr. Gulati, one more question. Like in your extensive experience around, various sectors, so when it comes to sharing your insights into the intersection between the academia and the practical skill development, which is actually evolving to meet the changing demands across the automotive industry. So, what's your take, on this? Like, how would you like to express this?
See, Kajal, very frankly, as a dealer principal, I normally tell everybody, your job is not to sell a vehicle or service vehicle or meet customers. Those are all you should know about. There should be a process where you meet customers and understand their issues, where you can upgrade the system. But your actual job is only two. One is manpower development and second is financial controls. So if you have a good financial control system, maybe you can only review it. But if you don't, you have to be there. The biggest job is manpower control, because if you can delegate to a good manpower who is regularly skilled and you look forward to his family and his overall relationship, I feel you don't need to work day to day in your system. So that is where ASDC also works. So for me, a dealer to handhold or delegate the jobs to the senior leadership and the people below, they have to be skilled well. Because if they are not skilled well, their output will be less, their productivity will be less, efficiency will be less, which will in turn hurt my incomes and financially. So ASDC is supporting the dealership or the manufacturers and component manufacturers, where on the from the base as a technician, the sales calling or service advisors or sales consultant, to the level of managers. Now above that, there's a job. This is the skilling part what ASDC is supporting us, and I feel slowly and steadily we will be becoming very prevalent with that. A day will come, what we are hoping, that any auto dealer or company before recruiting anybody should ask if they are certified by ASDC or not. That is the goal what we are looking at in the long run. But as a owner, as an entrepreneur, you have to see that your manpower is fully skilled, and the person whom you delegate your own job. So like how the GM sales or the CEO should know how the business is, and their training should be regularly updated. So like I said, if needed, unskill them, reskill them, or upskill them, so that if they are right, you are easy. If you don't have a good manpower and system, it's a problem for you. You will always be in a firefighting situation. You'll never have peace in business, and you'll not have time to be creative or innovative and think of expanding or improving your business.
Understood. This is very interesting to know, Mr. Gulati. And considering our, global viewership out there, our global audience, so when it comes to motivating them or motivating, normal individuals, how would you like them to, pursue automotive skills as a valuable and respected, career path? You being at the forefront of ASDC, so could you just share your insights into this?
See, very frankly, there is a gap here.
Mm,
A kid, when he's born, the first 2 or 3, his liking is normally cars and
mm,
automotive, two-wheelers, and the zoom going in. And even if it's watching TV, if there is a car race, he'll stick to it. The
yeah,
problem
the
happens that from
mm,
2 to 8 or 10, he likes that thing. But
true.
as he grows about 10, he has to decide which, bulky, not 10, but 14, 15, when he has to decide which side to go, what
Mm,
type of job profile or skill profile he needs. And that
mm,
is where the gap comes, because in that duration, he starts looking at startups, people doing great, IIT, joining IITs, IIMs, all those things, and he moves out of an auto. So
mm,
what as ASDC we are trying to do is I have already tied up with CBSC,
mm,
where from 8 to 12 there'll be some courses of auto in between, so that at least they are aware of what is auto, and
mm.
it's not a thing where they have a passion but they don't have a job. So they
Understood.
had a passion while growing up and they find a
Mm,
job somewhere else. So we are trying to bridge that gap. And through,
mm,
even we have tied up with AICT also,
mm,
the All
mm,
India Council for Technical Education, which imparts the working for all those technical skills
mhm,
from BTech, and they are now going for BBA, BC also, to
mhm,
have a courses there, at least one a chapter or one session there, so that the kids or the candidates at least are aware about automotive. They are
mm,
aware what kind of job profile is there. They are
mm,
aware that this is an industry where you can also be creative. There is an R&D department. If you are
mm,
really has the knack of creating something, innovating something, we have a huge place to do that. And it's
mm,
not one single thing. We have some 10,000 component in an ICE vehicle and some 1,000 component in an EV. You can innovate anything you want, any process. And this is an ongoing, fast-paced technology with the alternate energy and with the
mm,
requirement of changing to EVs, hydrogen. There are a lot of scope of getting into that. So if you
mm,
have that knack, we have an R&D. If you have that knack of improving the production system, we have
mm,
manufacturers. If you have that knack to improve the customer experience, we have dealers. So we are a multifaceted auto industry where they can
mm,
get anything. So we
mm,
are trying through CPSC and AICT, and also one main thing what we are doing is we have come up with uh, uh, a program where
mhm.
our kids can go online. It's an Olympic program, like you must have heard. There's a maths Olympic and science Olympic.
Ah,
We have come up with an auto Olympic thing also, which is
okay.
from 6th to 8th grade. So the
Great.
kids can go online. The first session they can fill
Mm,
their online options, and the
okay.
second goes physical, and that goes physical, where we recognize them. This is a
Mm,
process by which we are wanting them to go towards auto. So the
understood.
way people think, not as a so auto is never in a mindset of a good job when a person is
Mm,
growing. So we are
mm,
wanting to change that. That this is, see, auto is the biggest manufacturing
mm,
industry in India. It is 45% of the GDP. We
mm,
are the biggest GST earner for government. We pay there's 12% of GST come from auto. So
true.
this is a very important industry, but the way it has gone in the past,
Mm,
it was never glorified. Having a
exactly.
car, driving a car, getting a pick with a car is glorified, but
Mm,
working for a car company or a dealership is
mm,
not. So that is
mm,
where ASDC is coming in, and FADA
mm,
Academy like we are doing, so that we can push it further.
understood. It's truly inspiring the way you explain this, Mr. Gulati. So now, I guess we should also talk about your leadership mantra, because our global, audience out there is very much into knowing that you being at the forefront of ASDC and reshaping its future. Please do share it with our, audience out there.
See, I gave you one mantra that
Mm,
we want that in future.
mhm,
Anybody who thinks about auto should have some certification from ASDC because
mm,
our certificates are really important. We
mm,
update all our curriculum every 2 years, and it
mm,
is you cannot enter automotive without you lack something. So that is
mm,
what we are looking at in times to come. All the kids who go into study should at
mm.
least consider auto as a job, auto as a future. That is what we
It's a
want.
career path, right?
Second,
That's
they should go through some ASDC certification
mm,
for job or not for job, just for learning, so
mm.
that they are aware how auto industry is and how big and how important is auto industry to the Indian economy also.
That's very well explained, Mr. Gulati. And now it brings me to my, next question, that is about, like, where do you see ASDC like 10 years down the line? What's the futuristic vision?
See, Automotive Skill and Development Council was made for upskilling.
Mm,
10-year down the line is too long a version to answer because I'm hopeful by that time skilling won't be a subject and skilling will be part of the
mm,
school curriculum and the college curriculum.
mm,
But I see ASDC still prevalent that time because the change in the world is happening very fast.
mm,
And today we update our course curriculum every 2 years. Maybe then we'll have to do it every 6 months because we are talking of flying cars in future. We are talking of the transportation through tube, which is faster. So when all this happens, you need team to go through it. So starting from researching on that and then converting it to first to clay and then to as a
mm,
product, it will need more manpower who can think that way and who should be skilled that way.
mm,
So maybe I don't see ASDC what doing today should be doing 10 years later because we'll also have to change internally to understand that technology which is coming. So today we are talking of using hydrogen or water as a fuel for running a
mm.
truck.
Yeah.
We had never thought about that. So maybe 10 years down the line, we may be thinking of using air for
Mm,
moving for the movements. So things will change and it will be very, very fast. So
exactly.
like BS0 to BS3 happen in what, some 10, 12 years, and
Mm,
BS3 to BS6 happen in 3 years. So this is what India is as of today. It's a
mm,
developing country. 10 year
mm.
down the line, obviously we'll be the most developed. So maybe we'll be the third
Mm.
largest economy in world.
Economy in the
And
world, yeah.
keeping up to that standards, the mobility, which is the most important thing, will obviously have to live up to that level. So I see ASDC still prevalent, but not in the current phase, maybe not in the small
Mm,
scaling space. We'll be working on the latest technology and the future technology and
mm,
supporting the our students or our Indian diaspora to learn more how to make a
mm,
difference in helping the sustainability, in helping the climate support or saving water, whatever we can do
mm,
from auto with our cars, and how can we
mm,
use technology to support all that. So ASDC will be prevalent, more prevalent than today because we'll also be evolved at that time. And we are hopeful that we'll be a part of the major skilling or major upgrading of our Indian
mm.
people to reach to a level.
Understood. Amazing. Amazing the way you just pictured the whole futuristic vision. So I think, Mr. Gulati, this seems to be the perfect place to end this conversation. But before doing so, please do share any sort of words of wisdom with our viewers out there.
Uh, so it's actually you have to experience through your life to have something, but nothing. See, overall, for an entrepreneur, you have to be genuine. You have to be very ethical and logical. And you have to have faith on your manpower. You can't be omnipresent. You're not God. You can't do everything. Your growth or your position or your image is all because of your team members, and you should value that. You should have best of the team below you, and they can only take you more up. You cannot ride on somebody's head. You have to have support of their shoulders to go up. And as many better people you have below you, and you see their upgradation together, uh, more it will help your own company also, and the auto industry also. That's, I feel, for me, a better manpower, delegating to good manpower and taking care about them. That is the only mantra for the future.
That's amazing. Truly inspiring. So thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Gulati. I hope that this whole interaction that we had would provide a global audience with some valuable insights and food for thought. So let's hope for the best. And
Yeah. Thanks for
thank you.
having me.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a nice day.
Thanks.
Cut.
Thanks.